card flow, sled, tortoise knight.
Well, but to point out, that's a much harder path, especially as the 44th seed compared to Ling being the 5th seed. So Skew, you said it had some closer sets, but has had to fight tooth and nail to get here. Meanwhile, Ling's been coasting on through, so that could also be a pretty big difference maker. And at least first blood goes Skew's way, but Ling doesn't take too kindly to that because he immediately lands with Turnip and converts that into a whole 62%.
Yeah, one of those aggressive plays that you have to do, especially if you're Peach. Ling really focuses, even though that he has those combinations on point, he really likes to play a very defensive style where he just does not like to get hit whatsoever. And we're seeing it now. After that aggressive play within the start of the match, now we're moving into a more zoning projectile style matchup. But a crown smack right in the face is actually going to give Ling that first stock. Yeah,
like you're saying, Ling is more than happy to eat like an egg or a random grenade every once in a while, but he's not taking any really meaningful hits. Even that like random F-tilt, it's not going to lead into anything except resetting neutral, but does connect with the Wonder Wing. That damage is starting to get onto the higher side, and Banjo doesn't have too many kill confirms available to him, but he's got enough to get by from time to time.
You gotta be sure as well, if you see Peach actually going for their side special, that actually auto-cancels as soon as you touch the ground. So not being able to punish it is actually gonna cost them quite a bit of percent, already up to 116, and send right over to the left side. And this is pretty much textbook stage control from the beginning from Ling.
This is also Ling going, I know you're going to get bored before I get bored a lot of the time, so just waiting for Skew to toss a projectile and then try and approach behind it, and then Ling is just getting these massive, massive punishes every time. We keep seeing the down smashes, we keep seeing these falling float cancel nairs. The back air connects as Ling lands onto the ground too. That's going to be a second stock gone already before Ling's first even passes into the ether. Gets that back air too.
Yep. Just dominating pretty much the match, 121. So we are seeing that Skew is being successful at putting some stray hits then, but the reality is that the combinations are actually being a little overwhelming for the Banjo, and I do not blame him considering the matchup as well. That cannot be easy for the Bear and the Bird.
Yeah, I to be completely honest with you, do not know who wins this matchup. I don't think I've ever studied it at a top level. I don't think I've ever needed to study it at a top level. But right now, Ling is making it look like it's 70-30 because that was just a beating in game number 1.
I mean, in general, you're always going to have that rock, paper, scissors type of style, right? So if you already have somebody that's going to be more of a zoner type versus somebody that's going to be a lot more aggressive, you would think that Peach would actually have better tools to be able to deal with boxing. There are some exceptions to the rule. For example, Rob is pretty much one of those characters that can pretty much play whatever they desire. If you wanted them zoning out, if you wanted boxes, perfectly fine. But Banjo does not have particularly fast moves to be able to keep up with Peach's offense.
Well, game number 2 comes right up with a swiftness, and this is Skew's last chance in winners. Otherwise, he's going to be going down into a loser's bracket full of sharks. And Ling's going to be moving on comfortably, but so far, much better start for Skew, as he's going to be able to pop Ling up with the Breagle Blaster. If he can get him onto the platform, he could do a lot more, but instead, Ling holds towards center stage very smartly, and it still takes 85, but it's not the worst case scenario by far.
Absolutely, and we're seeing it right now, a little bit of a change for Skew in particular, really playing it aggressive, but using specifically the zoning offense that pretty much just categorizes whatever Banjo really wants to do in the area. Now we're seeing actually Ling finding themselves within that square of boxing, but the Wonder Wing is going to seal the deal. A get off me tool, but also a great KO for Skew.
And that's exactly what Skew needed all during game number 1, that one stray hit, strong enough to take Ling's stock away. Now with the first lead that he's had the entire set, see if he can convert into a little bit more, but an ill-advised air dodge to try and cross Ling's shield up gets him bared and put into the corner. Fights out of it pretty comfortably, though. I thought Skew would be in a lot more danger from Ling with Turnip in hand there.
And he's feeling a lot more comfortable as well as we continue to see his movements Neutral specials being used a lot more. Those eggs really just keeping Ling away from the danger zone that Banjo has, especially in close quarters, and actually setting themselves up to be able to continue to rack up that damage as time goes on.
Looking for the back air there. Gets the rapid jab instead for a little bit more damage. Just hold on to the stock as long as you can, Skew, because I think he's still got 3 more Wonder Wings left, 2 to make use of, probably 2 after this. Oh no, he still had 4 actually. So now he has 3, but the air dodge doesn't get him to the ledge, and so those 3 are not gonna matter.
Still great extra credit all the way up to 73% and forcing Ling to continue to maintain that distance until they can find that opening. And now all of a sudden it's a flip from the first game. Now Ling is the one that's just getting the stray hits and not being able to mount the offense. Meanwhile, Skew continues to put on that pressure.
Yeah, what a switch up from game number 1, right? Like, this is so different. And I think the big difference maker, you were talking about how, you know, you thought Peach would be much better suited to dealing with the boxing tools compared to the zoning tools. And I wonder if Skew heard you, because he's been non-stop reliant on the zoning tools this entire game. He's not letting that middle distance be made up by Ling.
Man, and we're seeing the grenades and eggs go left and right, front and center. Ling pretty much all can do right now is just float in the air and try to see if they can find some sort of opening. But the distance that some of the moves that Banjo has as well in the boxing game can really help them out, especially with that forward tilt, maintaining the distance. Now Wonder Wing actually taking them right onto the right side. Ling trying to find something, but no dice.
Low-key surprised that Ling didn't die to Wonder Wing coast to coast.
And all the way up to 185 too. That's either tremendous DI, or it's just the luck of the Smash Gods.
Yeah, sometimes it just do be like that, but Ling is trying to scout out this turnip toss fair. Unsuccessful, but if he can steal the stock away, it would reverse momentum pretty handily in this game, despite him having been down for so long of it. 2 Wonder Wings left on the stock.
Man, and all the way up to almost 200. This is part of the defense that I was mentioning before.
Wow, and it's just a random full hop fastball fair. That's all that it takes.
Just get him out of there for sure. But actually surviving up to 198 is pretty much the best case scenario for how the match was going for Ling.
And I mean, that's kind of emblematic of things not going too well for the Banjo player, that they have to rely on that random stray hit option to get the stock. Ling now going to even us right back up with only 15% to his name. Very, very comfortable in this situation compared to where he was before.
Another reason why I think this matchup is definitely Peach favorite is the fact that Banjo did absolutely so much, threw everything at Peach but the kitchen sink, and now Peach is ahead.
Oh, but Skew not going to be left by the wayside so easily. Gets a quick little rapid jab and some other bits and bobs to bring Ling up to 50%. But if Ling is living all the way to guaranteed 130 to 190 on these stocks, like, this is just not enough, not quick enough, not at all. Offstage now has to burn 2 Wonder Wings back to back to even get onto the stage. A Mr. Saturn as well could ruin your day if you're not careful. Man. But it might not even come into play if Skew cannot get to the ledge.
Nah, this edge guard is ridiculous. Finally gets away. Actually uses the down tilt to keep him away. And now a little bit of a rainbow. 2 count.
They traded items. Skew's walking around with Saturn and Ling was walking around with an aid.
You need to be careful though. Saturn now in the hands of Ling. Tossing him down, and dash attack is not going to be able to do it. That's another 2 count for the Banjo.
182, a third dash attack, and 189 after the hit is enough to do it. Ling is going to win the set 2-0. But it looked a lot shakier in game number 2. You could see some clear adaptation from Skew to bring himself back into parity in that game. It's really good stuff from him. Excited to see him down in the lower bracket as well, see if he can maybe make some magic happen. But that's going to be it for that set, as we see the last little bit of shenaniganizing towards the end with all the items floating around, and then Ling just doing a bunch of dash attacks until eventually one of them killed.
Banjo grabbing the Saturn again, and you can see it in the slow motion, just panicking as Banjo pretty much just goes. But you know what they say, what doesn't kill you usually succeeds in the second attempt, and that was the second dash attack by Ling, managing to steal the stock.
It's like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but like only once. You can't like spam it.
No, not really.
It's probably going to go poorly.
No.
But